All right, let's get right into it. Forget everything you thought you knew about getting bigger. Today, we're going to break down the science of looking powerful. And believe it or not, it has way more to do with math than you might think. So let me ask you something. Are you spending countless hours in the gym, just hammering away at bicep curls and crunches, wondering why you still don't have that imposing look you're chasing? If that sounds like you, then you're going to want to hear this. Here's the hard truth. You're probably focusing on the wrong thing. It's kind of like polishing the doorknobs on a house before you've even poured the foundation. See, looking bigger and more powerful isn't really about individual muscles. It's all about geometry. Okay, let's talk about the geometry of attraction, because it really all comes down to one single number that changes everything. And this isn't just some opinion or bro science. We're talking about a ratio that's been scientifically studied, measured, and proven to be what our brains are just hardwired to find attractive. That's right, science has actually gone and figured out the ideal proportion for the male physique. It's a very specific ratio, and it's all about the measurement between the width of your shoulders and the size of your waist. And here it is, the magic number, 1.6. The goal is shoulders that measure 1.6 times the size of your waist. And what's really fascinating is that this number is basically the golden ratio. You know, that same mathematical constant you see everywhere, in nature, in art, in architecture. It's a proportion that our eyes are just programmed to see as balanced and appealing. So we know the what. It's this V-shaped taper. But the bigger question is why? Why does this specific shape have such a powerful, almost primal effect on us? What's the real science happening here? Well, it all boils down to what's called biological signaling. From an evolutionary perspective, that V-taper is like a giant, nonverbal advertisement. It screams health, strength, and genetic fitness. It's an honest signal, a visual cue that says you're capable, and it works without a single word ever being spoken. So you gotta understand this isn't about vanity. It's about your physique telling a story. It's a visual resume of your physical potential, broadcasting it to everyone. And building that 1.6 ratio, well, that's how you make that story as powerful and compelling as it can possibly be. Okay, so we've got the what and we've got the why. We want that 1.6 ratio. So now, for the how. If we're going to be the architects of our own physique, where exactly do we need to focus our efforts in the gym? Let's get into the blueprint. Believe it or not, it really just comes down to these 5 key muscle groups. If you focus your training on these areas, you're getting more than 80% of your perceived size right there. This is the most effective way to create that powerful V-taper illusion. And it all starts right here, with the foundation. See, before you can build out, you've got to build up. We need to forge what the old school lifters call the yoke. The traps, the rear delts, and the neck all working together. A thick, powerful yoke, it's just the undeniable, ultimate sign of strength. Now for the good stuff. Coach Bert's rules for building this physique. It's time to stop wasting your time on exercises that don't work and start following the exact blueprint. Rule number 1, build your neck. Seriously, let's be real. You can hide a small chest under a hoodie, but you can't hide a pencil neck. It's the frame for your entire physique, and it's probably one of the most underrated indicators of just raw power. Now, the key here is to check your ego at the door. This is not about lifting heavy. It's all about smooth, controlled movements. You want to focus on higher reps, maybe 15 to 20, and really feel the muscle working. The neck responds to consistency and tension, not jerky, heavy weight. 2 or 3 times a week is plenty. Rule number 2, broaden your shoulders. And here's the secret. It's not about more bench press. Almost everyone does pressing, so your front delts get plenty of work. If you want to look wider, if you want to physically take up more space, you have to isolate the side head of the shoulder. And what does that mean? It means lateral raises need to become your religion. They are the single best, non-negotiable exercise for creating that capped, 3-dimensional look that makes your waist appear smaller by comparison. All right, rule number 3, sculpt the upper chest. A flat upper chest can make even a big torso look kind of weak. But when you develop that upper shelf of the pec, you create this armor-plated appearance that just screams power. Now, if you've been doing incline presses for years with no results, here's why. You're just pushing the weight up. You have to think about the muscle's actual function. The upper pec's job is to bring the arm up and across the body. So next time, think about driving your upper arms up and in like you're trying to touch your biceps together. That one mental cue will change everything. Moving on to rule number 4. Widen your lats. These are your wings. They're the largest muscles of your entire upper body. When you develop them, they flare out, and they are the single biggest contributor to that V taper. They literally create the illusion of a smaller waist. And now it's time to bust a classic gym myth. We've all heard it, wide grip for a wide back. It's just anatomically wrong. When you grip really wide, your elbows flare out and your upper back muscles take over the movement. To truly isolate the lats and build that width, you actually need a narrower grip, keeping your elbows tucked in close to your body. So you need a two-part attack. First, a narrow grip pull-down, where you focus on driving your elbows straight down. That hits the lower lats that create that initial flare. And second, you need a high-to-low row, where you focus on driving your elbows down and back. That's what builds the thickness in the mid and upper lats. And the final piece of the puzzle, rule number 5, thicken the upper back. This is what makes you look imposing from every angle, not just from the front. A thick upper back, your traps, your rhomboids, it gives you that 3D depth. It's a difference between just looking big and looking powerful. So when you put it all together, you realize this whole journey is about so much more than just looking a certain way. Building this kind of physique, it's a testament to something much, much deeper. You know, a physique like this can't be bought. It has to be earned. It's earned through consistency, through discipline, through plain old hard work. It's a physical representation of your dedication. So the real question is, are you ready to build not just a body, but a statement?